Hi everyone, I'm Matthew from Bushy Road and I'm one of the developers for Dragoborne Rise to Supremacy. With me is game designer Mike Elliott.
Hi, I'm Mike Elliott. I'm the designer of Dragoborne Rise to Supremacy. Combat isn't just about attacking and defending. In today's episode, we're going to teach you some of the tricks that you can use to surprise your opponent, such as using ambush cards or fort burst cards. Combat isn't always straightforward. Sometimes there can be special timing effects, such as fort burst cards or ambush cards, that can thwart your opponent's plans. Let's go through a combat sequence with a few special timing effects. Again, at the beginning of the combat phase, the opponent chooses a creature to attack. And he declares a fort, and again the defender can block. And as before, the attack values and the endurance values are compared. Here, the defender will deal 2 damage to the attacker, which will not destroy it, but will leave it damaged. However, the attacker will deal more than 2 damage, which will destroy the defender. The defender is placed in the discard pile. However, this time we're going to show an ambush effect. This ambush effect triggers whenever a creature is destroyed on the opposing turn. So in this case, the ambush effect triggers. The ambush effect is that this creature is summoned into play. I can choose to summon it to any of my forts. If I choose to summon it to a fort where there are already 2 creatures, I would have to choose to discard one of the creatures first before I put the new creature in play. However, I'm going to choose to summon it to the same fort that was attacked, and I'll bring it into play, and it now serves as a new defender. As again, my opponent can continue to attack. And he chooses to attack, I block. Both creatures deal 3 damage to each other, and both creatures are destroyed. And my opponent continues his attack again. So as before, when the opponent attacks and there's no block, damage is dealt to the fort. I look at the card and I notice that this card is a fort burst card, indicated by the fort burst symbol. The effect of the card now means that I can play the card out. I'm going to play this card and the effect is choose a creature and deal X damage to it, where X is the value of my red die. My red die has a value of 5. I'm going to choose to play this card and I'm going to deal 5 damage to my opponent's creature here, which will destroy it. I could have chosen not to play it and it would just go into my hand as before, but I just chose to play it. Since the effect resolves, the card now goes to my discard pile and is discarded. Again, my opponent can continue his attack. And again, an unblocked attacker deals damage to the fort. I look at the card and I have another fort burst card. The effect of this one is summon this creature. So I can choose to summon it. I don't want to summon it here because I'd have to get rid of the creature. And I don't want to summon it here because there's nothing to defend. So I'm going to choose to summon it to the fort here on the left, and it will come into play. Again, my opponent can continue his attack. Now, I could choose to block, but I have another ambush card here. I'm going to trigger this ambush, which triggers when a fort is attacked. When this fort is attacked, I can trigger this ambush card, and the effect is that I take the value of my red die and I deal damage to all creatures of the fort equal to the value of my red die. I'm going to choose this fort here. So I'm going to deal 5 damage to the attacker, and since he only has 4 endurance, that's going to destroy it. It's also going to destroy the rested creature that's already there that has 2 damage, since the extra 5 damage will easily put it over and destroy it. So again, since I resolve this, it goes to the discard pile along with the 2 creatures. As you can see, there are a number of special timing effects that can enhance the combat and radically change the outcomes.
Alright, thank you guys for watching all our videos.
Now that you know all the rules, why don't you follow Matt as he plays through a full game? To watch Matt play, you can click here.